Silver has always been called the poor man's gold. But right now, it's starting to look like the rich man's secret weapon. Over the last few months, silver prices have been climbing at a pace that has caught even seasoned investors off guard. It's not just a slow, steady rise, it's a sharp, aggressive rally. Why? Because demand for silver isn't just increasing, it's exploding. Think about what's happening around you. In the past, silver was mostly seen as a store of value or a shiny coin you might keep in a collection. But today, silver has become one of the most indispensable industrial metals on the planet. Every electric vehicle you see on the road, silver. Every solar panel turning sunlight into energy, silver. Every 5G tower, every smartphone, every piece of medical equipment that requires conductivity and antibacterial properties, silver. Silver is no longer optional for our future economy. It's a necessity. And here's the problem: we don't have enough of it. A lesson from history, the Hunt brothers. But before we dive into why the present moment is so unique, let's take a quick trip back in time. Because history already gave us a preview of what can happen when demand for silver suddenly skyrockets. The year was the late 1970s. Inflation was raging. People were losing faith in the dollar. And two men, the Hunt brothers, Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt, decided to take matters into their own hands. They looked at silver and thought, why not buy as much as we can? So they did. They bought and bought and bought. They didn't just buy coins or a few bars, they bought massive amounts of physical silver and silver futures contracts. Their demand alone was enough to shock the global market. At that time, silver was trading at around $2 per ounce. But as the Hunt brothers kept buying, the price started to rise. It wasn't long before silver hit an all-time high of nearly $50 per ounce in January of 1980. Think about that. In just a few short years, the price jumped more than 20-fold. All of this happened because two people, yes, just two people, decided to corner the market. Now, imagine what happens today, not with just two billionaires, but with millions of investors, governments, banks, and entire industries all chasing after silver at the same time. The Hunt brothers' story is a warning, but it's also a glimpse of what's possible. Back then, a small surge in demand pushed silver into the stratosphere. Today, demand is on a scale we've never seen before. The modern parallel fast forward to today. Look around. Banks are quietly introducing silver investment products. This isn't just for traders anymore. Your average saver can now open a silver account just like a savings account. Why would banks do that if they didn't see massive demand coming? Meanwhile, governments are paying attention too. Russia, known for its massive reserves of natural resources, has started accumulating silver. Saudi Arabia, a nation built on oil wealth, is also diversifying into silver. These aren't hobby investors. These are entire countries. At the same time, industries are screaming for silver. Solar energy demand is growing exponentially, and each solar panel requires silver. Electric vehicles need more silver than traditional cars. Medical applications are increasing. And let's not forget, silver is one of the best conductors of electricity on Earth. The demand curve is almost vertical, but production? Flat. Silver mining has not kept pace. In fact, in many places, production is slowing. Mines are closing. Grades are declining. And unlike gold, silver is often mined as a byproduct of other metals, meaning miners can't just ramp up production when prices rise. So, we're left with a scenario where demand is going up, supply is going down, and investors are starting to panic about missing the boat. The psychology of a silver rush. Now here's something fascinating. Watch your surroundings carefully. Notice how often silver comes up in conversations. Notice how the news is starting to cover it. Notice how people who never cared about metals are suddenly asking, should I buy silver? This is how major market moves begin, not with experts, but with the crowd. When your neighbor, your co-worker, even your barber starts asking about silver, it's not a coincidence. It's a signal. We've seen this before, with tech stocks, with Bitcoin, with real estate bubbles. Once the conversation enters the mainstream, it's already underway. But the difference here is that silver isn't just hype. It has physical, industrial, and investment demand all colliding at once. The numbers don't lie. Let's put this into perspective. Back in the Hunt Brothers era, silver shot up from $2 to nearly $50 an ounce. That was without solar panels, without electric cars, without 5G, without global banks and governments piling in. Today, silver is trading around $50 an ounce. Now ask yourself, does it make sense for silver to stay here, stuck, while demand is exponentially greater and supply is tighter than ever? If two men could drive silver from $2 to $50, what happens when the entire world is buying? It's simple math. Why physical silver matters. Now let's talk strategy. Because knowing all this is one thing, acting on it is another. Many investors look at ETFs, paper silver, futures contracts. But here's the truth, those are just promises. They're not real metal in your hand. When the rush truly begins, do you think everyone holding paper silver will be able to redeem it for actual bars and coins? History suggests otherwise. That's why, just like I've said in previous videos, physical silver is the most logical investment right now. Not financial advice, but a reminder of reality. You can't print silver. You can't create it out of thin air. And when demand overwhelms supply, the ones holding the real thing will be the ones in control. So where does silver go from here? Nobody can predict the exact number. But let's play with scenarios. If silver merely repeats the Hunt Brothers pattern, from $2 to $50, that's a 25x move. Today, starting from around $50, even a fraction of that kind of move would send silver to prices most people can't even imagine. Could silver hit $100, $200? Higher? When demand outpaces supply and psychology takes over, anything is possible. And remember, silver isn't just about speculation. It's about necessity. The green energy revolution cannot happen without silver. The tech boom cannot function without silver. The healthcare industry cannot advance without silver. This isn't optional. This is reality. So let me ask you, do you really believe silver is going to sit comfortably at $50 an ounce while the entire world demands more of it every single day? The Hunt brothers showed us what two determined buyers could do. Today, we have entire nations, industries, and millions of investors stepping into the market. History is knocking on our door again. The question is, will you answer? If this helped you see things differently, drop a comment and it will answer your questions. Subscribe for more honest finance content, and remember, smart money doesn't sit. It moves.